Yogaxpress, your virtual stretch clinic that helps you move the body to still the mind. My name is Suresh. I'm your host for this program. Yogaxpress airs 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 1:30 to 2 p.m. on Time Warner 57, RCN 84, and FIAS 35. We air every day, but we tape on average once or twice a week at the most. So if you want to come and share in the experience right here, we have amazing guests like Romona Mukherjee right here to my immediate right. We have guests like her share her expertise, her experience with us. Feel free, ours is a walk-in show, so feel free. You can also send in your questions, or you could email Romona directly, or you could email us as well. So Ramona's credits will be at the bottom left of the screen in just a moment. Our email is mnn.org. That stands for Manhattan Neighborhood Network, which is where we tape these episodes. To my immediate left, we have Jonathan Boothe. Jonathan is a martial arts student. I think you're quite past the word, so you're still a student. We're humble enough to say you're still a student, but we hope you'll come on our show one of these days just to share what you've been learning so far, and just to tell us what it means. And maybe end of this month, in the next couple of after the next couple of tapings, we hope you'll come back.
Yeah, sure. Yeah?
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it, Jonathan. Welcome back to the show. To my extreme right, Ron Thomas. Ron is a producer here at Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Ron, what are you going to share with us today?
I just like this kind of yoga that Romona has. It's like a different.
Wasn't that amazing? The last couple of episodes, that was a great experience.
It's a light. It's like Kundalini light.
It's Kundalini light. I like that. Oh wow, Kundalini light. Great name for that. So Romona, you are the Kundalini light expert.
Take it.
To Ron's left, Lana Parr. Lana, welcome back. And I can see, Lana, you're enjoying this very much because you don't look stressed out. You're already calmed down, and these gestures have meaning for you now,
they do.
right?
They do.
We hope you'll stay, not just for today. I know you will stay today, but we hope you'll come back in the next episode as well, because I'm hoping that Romona can be back tomorrow. Now for the big moment. Josie and Hurd, by the way, thank you so much for hanging in there. You have a lot of patience to put up with us, but thanks so much. Thanks to Richard Swanson and Malik Parker, our facilitators for today, and Helman for taking care of the engineering issues we had earlier on. The big moment here, once again, Romona Mukherjee. Romona is a psychotherapist, a yoga trainer, and a dancer as well. Traditional South Indian dancing is her forte as well. And you also had another role, right? You had another dimension. You're a psychotherapist, yoga trainer, you're a dancer, a hypnotherapist.
Yes.
You're certified in all of these, I'm convinced, because you took us through a really wonderful journey. Also a hypnotherapist. So are you going to take us through some of that hypnotherapy part of it today?
Yeah, well,
You tell us what you have planned. I'm going to leave it to you.
yeah. So hypnosis is interesting because we actually go in and out of hypnotic states more often than we realize.
Okay.
The idea behind hypnosis is really that we're accessing the relaxation center, parasympathetic nervous system, which is in charge of a deep state of relaxation. So even in yoga, for example, when we're in Shavasana.
Right, the Yoga Nidra.
Right. That is complete deep relaxation. That's a trance-like state, much like what I induce in a session where I'm teaching self-hypnosis. So even in the movements, as we've done in previous episodes and what we'll do today, there is a way that there's a hypnotic state that can be achieved. And though that's not the direct goal of how I'm going today, we can very easily achieve that in the movement.
That's all right. We don't expect you to do an experiment right here on hypnosis because I think we all need to snap out of it after a while. The only kind of hypnosis we know is the ones they show on TV where they take you into another state and then they have to snap you out of it. Is that?
Yeah, so what they're snapping you out of is, again, just a very deep state. So we can, it does look a lot like that, where I'll ask you to take a deep breath and I'll count from 10 to 1 and you'll go down. And then we'll come back up counting from 1 to 5, say. But you never lose consciousness. You're always
That's good to know. We have to close the episode.
Yeah.
Okay, you
fully
tell.
present. But for today, what I had in mind, if this resonates with everyone, what I hoped is, as you mentioned, I'm a therapist and I work with individuals suffering from anxiety, depression, difficulty focusing, difficulty concentrating. And so each of these movements that I've put together, it's all pulling and drawing from these vast sort of sources of information that I've learned from in my career. So pulling from dance, pulling from yoga, pulling from mindfulness practice, and then pulling from psychology and psychotherapy. Today, what I'd like to do is lead you through a sequence of movements that is designed for those times when we do feel down, when we feel gloomy. You know, we can all feel the blues sometimes. Things can happen where you just feel sad. And it's quite a natural ebb and flow of life to feel sad at times. But when it gets to the point that we're feeling so depressed that we can't function, we need some help to snap out of it.
Oh yeah,
Right.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So that's where therapy is useful, but you can also be empowered in some tools, as the ones that I'll be teaching today, which you can just use on your own at any time to help generate some levity, some lightness, so that you can lift out of those depressive and gloomy feelings.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
So to get started, I'm going to ask everyone to come to stand, top of your mats. And again, we'll want to stagger ourselves. Stagger ourselves so we have some space to move. And we're going to start, you can let your feet be parallel and bring a very soft and gentle bend to the knees. Let your tailbone sort of hang down low and scoop the belly up so you're sort of zipping the navel up. This is engaging the muscles of the core. You want to do this.
Because an image of zipping the navel up, I love that.
It's like you zip up like a pair of jeans. You do that with, right into your navel, and then you kind of have your core is engaged. And then everyone's going to take their index finger and their thumbs touching together like this. And you're going to place this right on your lower belly. So the thumbs are right around where the navel is, and the index fingers are right at the top of the pubis. So this is actually the center of the second chakra. The second chakra is the emotional center, pleasure center, emotional center. A lot of when we have imbalance in this chakra is when we feel gloomy and depressed.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. That's what that is. It's the second chakra. So with this pose, we're going to start, and everyone just let your eyes close and take a big breath in. And breathe out and send your intention and your awareness to the center, to this second chakra, this place along our center, this energy. And once again, I'd like to ask you to start by thinking of something that might be going on for you, that might be triggering some sadness, that might trigger some gloominess. See if you can conjure that image or feeling up, and then we'll test at the end of the practice and see how it changes. What I'd like you to do is begin to release your hands so that they're coming off, not completely, they're still in the mudra, but they're just off of your body. And then begin to breathe deeply. So as you inhale deeply, your belly's going to inflate like a balloon. And as you exhale, the belly deflates, the balloon deflates. As you inhale, the belly inflates like a balloon, and your hands might even inflate as if the balloon is extending out. And as you exhale, the hands gently sort of deflate. So it's as if you have this imaginary balloon. With each breath in, it's expanding. And with each breath out, it's gently softening. So as you take another breath in, see if your hands can expand even wider. The balloon gets even bigger. Now it's like a beach ball. And as you exhale, it softly descends. And then inhale again, even wider. And with each breath, you're essentially lifting your arms so that they're kind of floating up to shoulder length. Good. Yes. Let your shoulders be relaxed. So Ron, you can relax your shoulders a little. Your arms are now lifted to shoulder length. And they might feel like they're just resting on air. See if you can find that feeling. Come to stillness. Awesome. Good. And now turn your palms up towards the ceiling and expand out. So we're breathing in light that inflates the balloon. We expand it out. And then turn your palms down to the floor and come back to center, bringing your right hand so that it's in between your heart and your left hand. Excellent. And then you're going to reach your right arm across the left side of you, left diagonal, and you're going to spread out all around you. This is a clearing. You bring out over your head, extend out to the right, and come back to center. And now do this with the left hand. It reaches over to the right, all around you, back behind you, around your head, out to the left, and back to center. So when we feel gloomy, when we feel negative, right, there's a lot of negative energy, and it's a very simple clearing of our space. This gesture of clearing the space around us can bring a great sense of freedom. Excellent. And now we're going to do it down to the bottom, so across the front, the floor, back behind us, around our head, back behind us, back to center. So this is along the floor, crossing. It's kind of different, this movement. Back behind us and center. Again, around the floor, back behind us, around our head and center. On the floor, back behind us, around the head and center. Good.
It's almost like we are creating our own space right here, marking our territory, at the same time getting rid of what the negative. I mean, I'm just trying to connect and find the symbolism in what you taught us just now, right?
Yeah,
So getting
well, there's
rid of that.
absolutely, because what happens, and then we'll continue, but just to pause for a quick explanation. So what we've done is in breathing, right? In breathing, we breathe light, we breathe spaciousness. Usually what happens in a depressed state, we get very narrowly focused on that thing that's causing us pain.
Right.
So when we just breathe, and this image and gesture of expansion just brings the room for space.
Right.
And then when we kind of spread that and clear,
Diluting.
exactly, so there's a way that you're, extending that intention of light. So we're going to end, we're going to come to close. What I'd like you to do is, for the women, your left hand is going to be closer to your body, the right hand on the outside. For the men, it's the opposite. Bring your right hand so it's inside, left on the outside.
Why is that?
The left side of the body is said to be the feminine side. The right side of the body is said to embody masculine energies. And so for the women, to bring the left side closer to the heart. For the men, to bring the right side closer to the heart.
So our dominant energy should be closer to us. So our feminine side for women should be closer.
Yeah. So you're going to bring the thumbs to gently press. And the palms,
Glad you asked that, Ron, because I was wondering too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. And with this gentle press, again, acupressure points here, there's a stimulation, a circuit that we stimulate. This mudra is also called Boothe mudra, which is said to be a mudra of gratitude, a gesture of gratitude. So a wonderful and very effective counter to depression is to sit in gratitude for those things that are.
Right, and not worry about the negative.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So when we sit in gratitude, we can feel some lightness. So I invite you to let your eyes close and take a moment to conjure in your mind's eye image or feeling or thought that invokes gratitude within you. And to sit in the intention of gratitude. And then we'll close the practice. Everyone's going to bring their left hand to their heart, right palm to your third eye center. So this is again chakra centers. Let your eyes close and breathe. And one more way in which we end the practice in a very internal way. We went from outward to inward. And when you feel ready, you can release your hand. And that's the end of the practice.
Ooh. First of all, that was so gracefully executed, I have to say. It's very clear you're a dancer. I'm trying to keep up, and I think the rest of you've got two beautiful male dancers
I
here.
see
too.
that.
South Indian
I
dancing,
noticed.
not many men can do that.
Yeah.
You guys did a good
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
Now
such
you all
nice-
you need is a little lamp in your palm, and
Right.
then it's cool. So, shall we sit down real
Yes,
quick?
absolutely.
We can. Josiane, I'm not sure how we're doing for time, Josiane. Just let us know when we're about 5 minutes. Guys, do you have questions for Romona before we move on?
Yeah, actually, with the depression part and focusing on the situation that you said you're in, so like for example in the previous show, you told us to get Gayan.
Yeah.
Gayan.
Shine up his knowledge. Okay,
And-
good.
And I'll pay. Okay, I was just actually thinking about that, and it was really helpful as far
So
as
as
your
part of it,
ideas.
I guess-
So I do plan on using that a lot from when I go to the gym, from when I go to, training class, and as you said what that other guy did on the previous show,
Right.
every time he messed up, he.
You would do that.
Yes, I'm gonna definitely use
Right.
that a lot because I was actually thinking about it, and it was actually working as I was practicing it myself.
Good.
So you can now next time we'll see Jonathan in the subway doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you articulate what you said about that? I mean, I just touched upon it, but because we were into that posture at the time, I didn't want to go too deep. You talked about when we're depressed, you're taking it out. So what are we doing? We're just diluting the depression. What's happening to us in psychotherapy terms?
So in psychotherapy terms, what we would say, if there's some sort of depression, we want to acknowledge the source of it, understand the source, have compassion, and then without judgment, we move through. But what does the move through mean? In traditional psychotherapy, people can just talk and talk and talk, and sometimes just talking about something that's painful over and over again just keeps us.
It just numbs
It
us
just-
to the point where we don't want to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it just
Absolutely.
sort of reinforces the pain, right? We just keep saying it over and over, and then you just sort of can continue to feel heavy. So at some point, when you're finding that talking about it isn't bringing release, these movements, in some way, we're activating and bringing sort of
I didn't quite,
that space and breathing
Right.
into it. So when we do a movement like this, in many ways, it's really just a symbolic gesture. Just by setting the intention that I'm not going to stay locked into this negative
Okay,
mode.
right.
I'm going to actually open it and let it release out. Let it go. Let it go. So when we do this, and when you do a movement repeatedly, there is a way that at some point you just notice that the charge decreases,
Right.
becomes decharged.
So in the beginning, maybe we have more rapid and intensive
Sure.
movements,
Yeah.
and then it becomes just very casual, more relaxing and enjoyable.
Absolutely. It can become more. So yeah, if we had more time,
Right.
I could take you to this, and we would just repeat it over and over again in a very fast way until.
We really feel ourselves.
Yeah.
That's a hypnotic state you were talking about. You're going to take us through that one day.
Yeah.
See, without our knowledge, she's going to take us through there. Ron.
I was
and
lifting
Lana.
weights like that this morning. I had kettlebells, like a cannonball. So one move is to do with kettlebell swings, one-arm swings.
You want to make sure when you have
I
your
was
weights,
working
Ron, no abhay mudra. Don't open your palms. So you're
Yeah,
going to drop it
yeah.
on your foot.
So I was used to doing that kind of move.
So, while we're seated, would you do a quick recap of today's gestures? It was great. It was a lovely episode.
My pleasure. So we started with, let me see, where did we start with? We're going to start with this
Oh, the breathing.
mudra.
Yeah, that's right.
And you bring it, you rest your hands onto your second chakra. The second chakra is right where your thumbs are at your navel, index fingers at the pubis. And then as you breathe in, you'll feel your belly inflate like a balloon. And as you breathe out, the belly deflates. And then soon your hand will sort of release off of your body so that with each breath in, your hands expand out. And with each breath out, the balloon sort of deflates. And you breathe like this maybe 5 to 6 times until with each breath in, your hands expand out even further.
Oh, I get it. Oh my God, the coin just dropped. So the balloon represents a depression. So as our hand moves out, this feels smaller and smaller, gets smaller. Feels like that's not very as consequential. Oh my gosh. Finally, it's making sense.
It's so much interpretation as it resonates with you is really what matters, right? So once we expand our hands out and we feel that we've achieved this sort of big beach ball type of thing, you'll turn your palms facing up. You'll extend your hands out to the sides and then sort of gather and collect back in. The right hand is in between the heart and the left hand. And then you take the right hand across to the left side, spreading it all out, all directions, around your head, back to the side, and then to center. And then other hand.
Josiane, I hope you're practicing in the back.
To the left and to center. So you repeat that. You do it to the bottom, towards the floor, around your head. To center, along the floor, around your head, back, and to center. And then you come to the Boothe, Mudra, which is this gesture of gratitude. The thumbs gently press against each other. Palms are facing in towards your heart.
I especially liked it when you taught us this. It makes you feel grateful for what we have than worry about what we don't.
Amen to that.
Very nice. That's right.
And so then in this is a sort of universal gesture of gratitude. And then we have our own personal gesture of gratitude. We close the practice with our left hand on our heart, right hand on the third eye. This is very relaxing, but also a very inward, a very deep sort of posture. So we access our highest self through the third eye, right? And our most compassionate self through the heart. So again, compassion helps to alleviate depression. So then you can release. And I would be curious when I asked for everyone to kind of conjure up a thought or a memory that might arouse some depression. And if you were able to think of something that makes you sort of depressed and how you feel about it now.
I actually did think of something. In fact, it was an incident that happened yesterday and I was concerned about it, and honestly, your method does work. It was amazing how relieved I feel already. We don't have the credits yet, so which means we have a couple of minutes. I actually did experience that, especially when you talked about moving the hand. It was like I literally felt like I was trying to let go, and it definitely helped to have your explanation. So thank you. I'm going to go home much happier today.
Good.
So I just had a little situation last week, Wednesday, where I had fallout with a close friend of mine. Yeah, and we're not talking though, but it's totally fine. But I was just thinking about that even while I got on my way here. So I knew that once I get through the class, one way or another, I was gonna get over it. And
Right.
it did help a lot. By when you
Hey,
said
we need
depression.
you back. Good,
and
you're going to come back.
The moment that you said depression and all that, I was totally happy. Like, okay, good. I know that this is definitely gonna work because if others have it, so will this, and I do feel relieved.
That's a good
Thank you
reminder.
very much.
Yeah, thank you. Those of you who want to stay in touch, in fact, I'm sure everyone will want to stay in touch with Romona. If you want to come right here, Romona will hopefully come more often now. This is the first time she's appearing on our show, so that was a great experience, Romona. We hope you'll keep coming back. We'd love to have you on our panel as well. Ron, how did
I
you
was
feel?
betrayed.
What for? How did you feel?
I trusted somebody.
And how do you feel now? You don't look like you're worried at all.
Oh yeah, well, I've gotten over it, but
We're just diluting the negativity by going out with your
I've been
hands?
getting over it.
That's
Well,
good.
hopefully, as with anything, it's practice, right? So as we do these gestures and as we do these movements in a repeated way,
Right.
um,
It's okay if we're a little off. If I can't remember the exact sequence, is that okay?
Yeah.
The idea is to just get it out, right?
right, the symbolism again of just letting go and releasing.
Right. I love that. I love that. Lana, how did you feel?
I felt a little bit left behind today.
Oh.
I'm not able to get up, you know.
Oh, no, don't worry about that. But as far as the movements go,
The
did you feel the
movements.
same liberation that
Oh,
we
yes.
felt?
Yes, I did.
Did, right? Because I noticed you were enjoying, you were participating quite well. Getting up,
We'll
that's
help
okay.
you get up then.
Yeah, we'll help you with that.
But I should be on that by now.
Well, not
I should
really,
be.
but it takes time.
Credits are rolling, but I think the right word for the experience that you've shared with us today is liberation. I mean, as I spoke, it just came to the top of my mind. I think it's just such a liberating feeling, just understanding all the different gestures. Credits have rolled already, so we have about a minute to go. On behalf of Jonathan Boothe, Ron Thomas, Lana Parr, and our special guest, Romona Mukherjee, psychotherapist, yoga teacher, mindful meditation practitioner, and a
Dancer,
traditional
yes.
South Indian dancer, Romona Mukherjee. Stay in touch with that, therapy2evolve.com. If you have questions, you have any questions that you think Romona can help you address, come right here. Don't just sit in front of the TV. Come here and stretch with us. Ramona, thank you. That was a great experience. Any closing points, remarks that you'd like
She's a
to?
remarkable young lady.
She certainly is. She certainly is. She's
Well,
taken us
thank
through a
you.
wonderful
I
I
experience.
should have you train me. Maybe I'll improve myself better in my exercising or modeling and martial arts. That'd be a good competition.
Happy to help.
That would be
Thank
great.
you for having me.
Now, where did you say, one more time, where did you say your chamber was, since we have about 20 seconds?
Yeah, it's 308 East 38th Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue.
Between 1st and 2nd Avenue, 308 East
38th.
38th Street. Very close to Mount.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, she's somewhere there.
wonderful.
But no, that's wonderful that you shared all this with us, Ramona. We hope you'll be able to come just for at least one more episode. And then maybe next month, we hope you'll join us again. So that was great. Josiane, how are we doing? Thanks so much for hanging in there. Whether we are on air or not, thank you. We appreciate it. We good to go? Can we say anything we want now? Actually, it does feel great. I actually do feel a sense of relief.
Good.
I did have something that was bothering me, which usually doesn't happen with me because I'm one of those people, I'm like Teflon. People call me Teflon. Nothing
Non-stick,
sticks.
non-stick,
Exactly,
that's
nothing
great.
sticks. But there are moments, when Teflon is hit, it's really hit bad.
Yeah.
So it really felt good. I'm gonna go home and watch this.
Yeah.
Watch it in practice. Josiane, are we